Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. This is a presentation of figure of speech. In your last presentation, you have studied about some figures of speech. There are hundreds of figures of speech in number, but the most important that we are using in our daily language in the practice of our writing, that figures of speech are 22 in numbers. So you have discussed some before, and now we are going to discuss some other figures of speech. Okay, this figure of speech is called hyperbole. So the hyperbole is without a doubt the single greatest thing in the history of the universe. In what is hyperbole? In hyperbole, this statement is made empathetic by overstatement. Okay, this is not a simple statement, but the statement is made by overwriting it or to expressing something bigger than usual or that does not exist, but just to give a bigger impression to the statement. Hyperbole is used. For example, I have told you a million times. It is not possible to tell a million times, but here the million times is used to give a overstatement or to give the emphasis of telling that I'm telling you, yeah, I have told you a million times. Or for example, I have tons of things to do. So it is not possible to keep tons of things with you, but to tons of things is to do is overstatement that stressed on the importance of the work. For example, I'm waiting for you since centuries. So it's not possible to wait for someone since centuries, but the word using centuries give overstatement or empathetic impression that gives more stress on the importance of any matter. Okay, this is called euphemism. Euphemism consists in the description of a disagreeable thing by an agreeable name. For example, you are telling me a fairy tale. You are telling me a fairy tale means you are telling me a lie. You are telling me the bigger things. You are telling me the exaggerated things. So when we are using these kind of statements, these are called euphemism. And for example, good news, dear. I'm going to be spending more time with the family. This is also a euphemism that I'm going to spending more time with family. So you are fired. Here you can see in this picture you are fired. So fired exactly means to fire, to shoot something, but you are fired, then you are fired from any job. So that also is euphemism here. Okay, euphemism definition that makes something bad sound good. The old man passed away when something happened bad, but you want to convey that thing in a good manner, in a good sense that looks sound. So you are also using euphemism. For example, if any person has died, so you are giving an impression that the old man passed away is also called euphemism. Okay, antithesis. In antithesis, a striking opposition or contrast of words or sentiments is made in the same sentence. It is employed to secure emphasis. For example, speech is silver but silence is golden. These two things are the opposite of each other. Speech is silver but the silence is gold. For example, there is any other example that give everyone thy ear but don't give anyone thy tongue, means that you can give anyone your ear, means you can listen to everyone, but you cannot select anyone to talk on behalf of you. That's why it's a saying that give any everyone thy ear but don't give anyone thy tongue. So this is also the antithesis. So if there are comparison between two opposite feelings or opposite senses, that is called also called antithesis. So love and hate are two opposite things, good and evil are two opposite things, peace and war are two opposite things. So these are called antithesis. This can be the combination of two words, or this also can be any sentence or statement. Okay, this is oxymoron. Oxymoron is a special form of antithesis. This is also a kind of an antithesis whereby two contradictory qualities are predicted at once of the same thing. When there is one thing but two contradictory qualities are giving to that specific object or personality or thing. For example, I am busy doing nothing, like I am keeping myself busy but actually I am doing nothing. These are two opposite things. For example, you can see in this picture that pretty ugly, that it's mean that very ugly, but the pretty is used for the people who are looking good. So pretty ugly is a stress on this ugly. So the non-secret, orderly confusion, deafening silence, and confirmed rumor, awfully nice. All these words are contradictory to each other in itself, but they are generating one meaning. So these are oxymorons. Pun. A pun is a use of a word in such a way that it is capable of more than one application, the object being to produce a ludicrous effect. It's the life worth living. It depends upon the lever. Okay, when the word is used in this way, that is capable for more than one application, that you can use one thing for so many senses, so that are the pun you are using. So by this, by giving more senses to a sentence or any statement, which basically you are creating a very light effect in that sentence. For example, here is an example: the life worth living. Life is very important to live, but but it depends upon the liver. It depends upon that how your eating habits are and how you can tolerate. So this is creating a pun, basically the lighter effect in your sentences or your writings. Okay, synecdoche. In synecdoche, a part is used to designate the whole, or the whole to designate a part. For example, if you are using one thing for explaining the other thing, like the Indian team, like the Pakistani team, like the English team won the match, but if we are not using the sentence that the 12th or the 11th member of the team won the match, but we are generally calling it that India won the match. So it's mean that we are using one half to designate the whole nation or whole country. Here are some examples: gives us a day our daily bread, gives us the day our daily bread. Okay, England, for example, the England cricket team won the first test match against Australia. So when we are talking about England, that does mean that it's an England team, so we are designating. Another example is if we are traveling in a car, when we are using that, we bought wheels to travel towards office. So wheel is a one part, but by wheels we mean the whole car. So these are some synecdoches when one part is spoken for the whole. Irony is a mode of speech in which the real meaning is exactly the opposite of which is literally conveyed. This is a type of a satiric things then in ironical way when you are talking to someone, like you have seen in your speeches of Martin Luther King and your speeches of I Have a Dream. So in these speeches you have seen these ironic remarks, that how they made ironies towards the leaders of the nation. So these speeches are when the real meanings are different, but literally it is conveyed in different type of things. Here is an example taken from the play of the Shakespeare, Hamlet. For Brutus is an honorable man, so are they all honorable men. In this statement, the Brutus was not an honorable man. The quote spoken by Mark Antony in this, the reporting that Brutus was basically the tyrant and not an honorable man. However, the Mark Antony does not agree and is saying that if Brutus is an honorable man, then everyone is honorable. So, if any bad person is honorable, then all the bad persons are honorable. So, this is ironic remark. So in fact he is no different than anyone else, and indeed worse. Here you can see that one when something is made in such a mode that real meanings are different, but they are wrapping the real meaning and giving just an impression that can be an ironical towards towards any expression. Litotes is an informative is conveyed by negation of the opposite. The effect being to suggest a strong expression by means of a weaker, it is the opposite of hyperbole. In hyperbole, you have seen that only one part is used to express the whole part. Like we have discussed that England team or England has won the match is for the whole nation. So one part is spoken for all. But in this, in something is spoken affirmative in a positive sense by using as negative remarks. So the man is no fool. For example, no fool means the man is clever, but here no is not an affirmative but a negative remark. So no fool jointly can convey the meaning of very clever. So if these words, these negative or negation words are used before any noun or adjective, so these are litotes. For example, we also have used some not a bad idea, not bad, but we are basically we give an impression of positivity that good, but we are speaking like this not bad. So there isn't anything I won't eat when I am hungry. This is also a an impression and negative impression to present an informative that when I am hungry I used to eat anything, but here it's used that there isn't anything that I won't eat when I am hungry. So I will eat anything when I am hungry. This is litotes when the negative is used to tell the affirmative. The last one is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is a formation of a word from the sound associated what is named. So this is just a sound impression. This onomatopoeia, like the bird produce cuckoo, like the chili produces sizzling, like the crackers produce a sound of cracker, like when you are throwing something in the water the sound is splashing. So or when any impression that can make a sound, any word that can represent a sound, that is onomatopoeia. For example cuckoo, for example sizzle, for example crispy, for example splashing. So these all are the examples of onomatopoeia. Thank you so much, students.